Hey everyone, welcome to an RMA Fire tutorial. Today we're gonna be talking about something that always troubled me when I made the move into Houdini after using Cinema for quite a bit of years. Um, so we're gonna be talking about center axis. So I'm gonna teach you everything I know about how to control the center axis of whatever geometry you've got. So let's hit the center right here. So kind of like a rule of thumb is we usually get the temptation of grabbing the object and tweaking the size and the position from the beginning, right? Um, and we also get that temptation out here to tweak the parameters, right? But that's generally something that I don't recommend, just because it's easier and it's a little bit more intuitive for whoever is gonna grab your project to for us to leave everything here at default, but then put a transform, and this is where we're gonna be doing the positions and the scales, keeping everything here at default and keeping the first one at default. Okay, so that's gonna make your life much easier down the line. Okay, now let's say that we've got this object here and our axis is completely off. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in an object just so that we can go through what usually happens when we import some sort of geometry or something. Okay, so we come into my server. And bring this obj in. Okay, so what happens? First thing first, whatever you bring into geometry, it's usually gonna come in pretty big. So we'll bring in a transform, and we're gonna hit move centroid to origin. Boom. So this is kind of hitting axis center in Cinema. It just placed my centroid in the center of the object. Then we're gonna scale it down to a 0.1. And there you go. It's that simple. Okay, so the problem with that solution is, I'll show you. Let's say we've got our object like say we've got an object on a complex scene. So we've got for example, we've got that, and then let's create another one, and let's merge them. Okay, so we've got some sort of configuration or whatever, and we create a transform here. So if I hit move centroid to origin, it's gonna find the center point of the object that we've got. So that's working, right? But see how it moved my object onto the center? It moves it to the origin. It moves the centroid, but it moves this. It moves this to the center. So it kind of, if we've got some configuration or some sort of scene or something, it wouldn't necessarily be ideal. So I'm gonna come here to my pivot transform, and I'm gonna show you guys two things. So first things is that we can also tweak it here. So we can come in here and move our centroid to the center manually. Not recommended, because that's totally just like eyeballed. So we're gonna do $x ZEX, which means center to the X, that just centered it to the X. $Y and Z. So that expression just placed it on the perfect center of this new configuration that we have. And that's what I've found to be kind of like the best way of centering this axis here. And I'm gonna show you guys last. Let's put it on the center. How to say we want to put it on this place right here, right? So you can come here, you can right click on it and say not attached to geometry. So now we're free to move it anywhere we want, place it, you know, on any place, and then we're gonna do right click and attach to geometry. And there you go. These were some quick useful tips on how to use the center axis in Houdini when you're coming from Cinema or any other tool.